This is the third in our series of eBird instructional videos, and today we're going to look at how you can manage and find out all sorts of information about your personal findings. This is a very powerful tool. We'll go to the top here and we'll click the My eBird tab, and we're taken to this page where on the left hand side it tells you the number of species in your life list. Now I would point out that this site eBird site that we're working with is Bird Protection Quebec's site, and it's only intermittently updated depending on whoever's been running a field trip. But the principles are the same. So Mr. Bird Protection Quebec has a life list of 192 species. He's had 17 in the year 2015, but he hasn't had any in February when this film was being made. Total number of checklists submitted, and further down you can see that all the 192 species were in the American Ornithologists Union area, the American Bird Association area. They're in North America, they're in the Western Hemisphere and the world. It's all the same number. So Bird Protection Quebec hasn't been recording sightings from Europe or Asia or Africa or whatever. Those are the major regions. You look at the countries, and not surprisingly here, they're all Canadian. State and province. Mostly in Quebec, but there are some Ontario sightings as well. So there'll be overlaps there. And again, break it down to municipalities. So we look at the Canadian list. We can click this 192 and we can see there. These are all the list, all the birds which are in the list, the life list of the owner of this eBird account. You can sort them. The default setting is to show them in taxonomic sequence, but you can sort them alphabetically by clicking the top of the page there. You can group them all together. Which birds did I first see? These are your these are your first birds at the time you've seen a species. So you can group them by location. You can even group them by the date. So the very first bird that was ever recorded by Mr. Bird Protection Quebec was a ring-billed gull at the Botanic Gardens on the 14th of March 2009. And if we go right down to the bottom of the list, we'll see that the most recent species that was added was a blue-grey gnatcatcher at Lac Saint-François on the 1st of June 2013. This, as you can imagine, is very, very useful for looking through your own personal records. So a step back to here. You can manage your checklists here on the right. So this was the most recent one on the 31st of January 2015. There's some sightings from Higgins, and if that was your personal list you would be able to go in and see what species was seen then, and if there was something that was wrong, you said, oh, we didn't see 8, we saw 18 chickadees. You could click this, as we've seen in film number 2, and you'll be able to edit it. You can share that list with other people, so it's possible, for example, if you're out as a group, half a dozen of you go birding together, one of you enters this stuff up and then can share those sightings with the other people in the group who have got eBird accounts. You can even delete it if you want to. You can manage your locations. So these are the places you've recorded birds from, and you can edit them. So if you want to be more precise about exactly where that is on the map, you can change that. You can import data from a spreadsheet, database, or a birding program. This is very useful if you've been recording your life lists in previous years using some proprietary software. You can dump the findings from that into a spreadsheet and then import it into eBird and use this as your master record list from now on. And also you're providing eBird with information about those birds which you didn't previously have. And as this is a citizen science effort, that's very important. Lots of things here. You can summarise your observations, that's very useful. So you can say, I would like to see which species did I see in the year 2013 in Lac Saint-François and the Réserve Faunique Marguerite Douville, but not in the other places. So you can be selective. Let it think about it. And here we are. In 2013, in those places locations which you've selected, you can see the number of species, you can see which months they were seen, the number of individual birds, and you can see species by species. So there were 20 Canada geese seen in May 2013, there were 60 seen in June, there were 60 seen in October, and so on and so forth. Look at abundance, frequency, group size, species totals, high counts. Look at it in all sorts of different ways. You can print it out, you can download that report and do analyses on it in a spreadsheet or whatever if you're so inclined. Very useful, very, very useful indeed this. So that's looking at your personal eBird. You can see how many species you've got and you can manipulate that data. So you're allowed to change your mind. Once you put something in there, it's not there forever. It's your data. You can correct it if you feel you need to. But most importantly, you can look at your own records and see how you're getting on. This is very good stuff. That is the end of session number 3. Thank you.